Hey team, didn't see you there. Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Trevor, and I am here to help you find and see and spot your blind spots. Where are they? Where are they? They're everywhere. Spoiler alert. There's always more to see. The more you look, the more you see, the more you see there is to see. And the more fun it gets, the more you relax and realize, oh, okay, there's no done, there's no getting it, there's no getting there. There's always more to see, so I'm always looking joyfully because it's beautiful and fun and effortless. That's how I create it. Up to you how you want to create it. So that's what I do. And the other thing I do is help you take your life from ordinary to extraordinary. Extraordinary. This is the one, that's the one you want, is the extraordinary one. This is like, why? But it could be this. And it really could be. And I can help you see that. Today, we are going to talk about setting boundaries. Setting boundaries. Now, this is something that gets thrown a lot of boundaries. Set boundaries with people. What does that mean? Well, I'll tell you what it means. And this was another big takeaway from the shift experience as I continue this series of basically just sharing my journal from the shift experience, everything I learned from Aaron and all the wonderful guests that he had there, and things I learned about myself while I was there. Much of it, I will say, was reminding me of things that I had learned and gone through in my coaching that I had done the last 15 months. Hired one of the best life coaches in the world. His name's Townsend. He's a lifetime client of Steve Hardison. Steve Hardison is like the underground Tony Robbins, which is why you probably know the name Tony Robbins, and you may or may not know the name Steve Hardison. Nonetheless, if you want to know more about Steve and you want to know more about yourself, get the book, The Ultimate Coach. It's a book about being as opposed to doing. Everyone's so fixated on what am I doing? What is he doing? What is she doing? What are they doing? Who are you being? Who is everybody being? Being is everything. Being begets doing. Okay, so let's talk about being someone who has strong boundaries. What does that mean? How do you set boundaries? What are boundaries? What is this all about? So, story time. Boundaries would be, as an example, people invite you to do something and you don't really want to do it for one reason or another, whatever. You need no explanation, so that's why I'm not even going to give one in this story, this hypothetical example. If there's something that you don't want to do, but you're doing it out of feeling some sort of obligation or whatever to someone or something else, that is you not setting a boundary. Or someone says something to you and you don't, if you have some sort of problem with it, something you want to say back to it, and like we'll talk about, there's productive ways to do this. You may be thinking, well, I can't say something back to that person because then it would be a fight or whatever. We can go through how to set boundaries and how to do our best to make them well received by other people. And at the end of the day, that's not up to us. Because we've all seen and been in situations where we know that we did everything to help communicate something as effectively and kindly as possible, and someone still may take it the wrong way, be hurt by it, whatever. At the end of the day, you just have to recognize that's them and their journey and their learning, and their book's not over, and they may look back on that and they may come back to you and say, hey, that time I was offended by this, or I didn't like it when you said no to this invitation, or I felt like you were talking back to me or yelling at me or something, and I see it differently now. This happens all the time in our lives and in our relationships. So just know your responsibility is you. You. The best thing that you could do for me is to take care of you. And the best thing that I could do for you, and the best thing that I could do for you, is to take care of me. We all just take care of ourselves then we all are taking care of each other. That's why they tell you on the plane, you put your oxygen mask on first before you think about helping anyone else, even your child who's next to you, because you can't help other people. You can't be there for other people until you are there fully and completely for yourself. You need to put yourself first, not in a selfish way, in a selfless way. In a way that if you're going to show up, and this is boundaries, this is everything, this is boundaries. Boundaries are you putting yourself first. What do you need mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, whatever it is, for your health, for your well-being? What do you need? You get clear on that, because, and you may be thinking, no, I have so much I got to do. I got to take care of other people. If I don't do it, nobody will. Okay, well, to take a step back from that, in order for you to show up the way that you want to show up for all these wonderful people in your life, you first have to take care of yourself. So let's dive in and talk about how to set boundaries. What does that mean, and how do you do it? Here's the thing. Boundaries are set internally. Boundaries are set internally. So you may think that setting a boundary is all about a conversation, or you're going to think your way there. And as we've covered in prior videos, and we'll cover over and over and over again, it's not about your thinking mind. This is the thing that so many people have backwards. They think they need to think their way to these solutions, when the thinking is what's causing these problems in the first place. The thinking is, well, I have to go to this party because I feel obligated, and everyone will hate me if I don't, and everyone will remember this forever and be like, wow, you remember that time Trevor didn't come to that party? That was real messed up. I'm never going to forgive him for that. Are you? Nope. Yeah, me neither. Like, that's what we imagine. I mean, yeah, hilarious. And yet, that's what we seem to imagine or imply when we're not setting boundaries, is that anyone really cares that much, and that they're really going to dwell on this, hold this against us. And if they are, those may not be people that maybe that boundary needs to be so strong that it's like, we just don't associate with people like that. Now, I've been super lucky at, this whole idea of like, cut toxic people out of your life. I don't know if I've ever had toxic people in my life, just 'cause I wouldn't even be, I guess I've had this boundary just forever that I wouldn't even begin to entertain that. Like, I got a one strike policy on you being like a toxic person. Like, no, I got plenty of friends and they're all amazing. And the idea that I would have toxic people in my life, like, no. So wherever you are, wherever you may be with that, just know that people do not care to the extent that you think they do about you setting your boundaries and them taking offense to them. And maybe they'll be a little bit hurt, but they'll respect you more, they'll understand it, and you'll give them permission to do the same. Be that shining light. Be that example of setting boundaries. Whether it's, again, the thing I just keep coming back to are these social obligations of like, if and when you just want to take time for yourself, or you want to do something else, you feel obligated to go to this party, do this other thing, or put your focus, time, energy to this person, hear this person out, let them dump all their problems on you. Like, you don't need to do it. You don't. You can set a boundary. And let's talk about how. How do we set boundaries? We set them internally. What does that mean? But no, it's got to be like, well, here's what we mean. What I mean by setting your boundary internally is the way to set boundaries is to get out of your thinking mind and into your body. So when you're confronted with a situation where you start to feel that friction, that discomfort between, I don't want to do this thing, but I feel like I have to say yes to this conversation, going to this event. I've got to go to this party because these people are going to be there, and if I don't come, then they'll all be mad at me. Or I've got to let this person dump all their problems on me because if I don't, then maybe they'll stop being my friend. Whatever that may be. The way to set those boundaries is to do it internally. What that means is literally just coming and feeling into your own body, coming into your body, coming into your own frame. And you do that very simply by taking a breath and just feeling, putting the awareness into your body. So this, again, we're entirely out of the thinking mind. We're not trying to think better thoughts, replace thoughts or whatever. This isn't some trick, some tactic that you're doing up in your head, in your mind. It's a completely different type of intelligence and way of being, which is your breath. Your breath doesn't involve thinking. It's just the and then feel into your body, feel into your frame, put the energy and the awareness inside of your body. And from that place, the words will come to you that you may need to say to set this boundary that looks like you're setting it between you and this other person or this event, whatever it may be. But the way to set that boundary, where and how it starts, is inside of you. You bring that energy, focus, awareness, attention into your body, and that is what gives you the power, the space to stand in, to feel that separation between you and that other person. What is your stuff? What is their stuff? When you get clear on where you are, who you are, you're standing in your own frame, in your own power, then it doesn't feel difficult to tell that person that you're not going to be doing that thing. You're not going to be going to, no, I won't be doing that. Thank you for the invitation. No, I hear that you have a lot to say and that you're frustrated, and I'm sorry to hear that, and I don't really have the energy to give to this right now. I need to do whatever. It's not harsh. It's you being in your own frame, and you are inspiring other people to do the same. You're giving them permission to do the same. I mean, imagine a trio of friends where everyone's always saying yes to each other, and you can get to this place where I think about this all the time, where everyone's wearing this mask. Everyone's doing these things to, in big and small ways, maybe people please, or there's peer pressure, there's social obligation. Like, yes, of course, let's take a step back. We're social animals. It makes sense that these are the types of problems that we deal with, because back in the day, being in the tribe and not getting kicked out of the tribe was the most important thing in the world. That was the most important thing to you. If you were going to survive and pass on your genes, then you needed to be in the tribe, and you needed to stay in the tribe. That was it. That was everything. What's the point of being a human being if you're just off by yourself alone? Well, that no matter what, you live to you're 80 years old, but if you're not part of passing your genes on, then evolutionarily you're worthless. So that's how we got to where we are. So it's important to recognize that. I'm not making that claim, that judgment on what it means to be alive in the world that we're in today. That is what has driven us to get to the point where we are. And it's important to become aware of that and know that we can let go of those stories and let go of all these feelings, these things that we have that are driving us to fit in the tribe, stay in the tribe, and that is the number one most important thing ever. That's why it's difficult to set boundaries. So it's okay. It's not supposed to be like the easiest thing ever, a natural instinct, a no-brainer. Like, yeah, you got to bring some conscious awareness to it. You got to do some things that are counterintuitive. But just imagine a group of people that are always all doing something because they feel like they're supposed to be doing it, or they have to do it because they don't want to disappoint this other person, when in the back of their mind they're all thinking like, man, I wish I didn't have to do this. And then what if it just takes that one person to start setting a boundary, and then other people realize, oh, okay, so I can also do that same thing as well. And this story that I'll leave you with around this is my friend talks about this in terms of like when you're at a party at a bar or something like that, and someone orders shots for everybody, and you have that feeling of like, everyone's taking a shot, everyone's gonna do a shot, and if you don't want to do it, how often have we been in that situation where it's like, I do not want to take this shot, I don't want to do this thing, I don't want another drink, that everybody's doing it, everybody's telling me I gotta do it. no one will remember the next day that you didn't do it. And you can just not do it. You can exercise that freedom. You can set that boundary internally, feel in your own body, feel, okay, I know what I want, what's right for me. And right now, taking a shot of tequila ain't it. So that's your stuff. You do that, have fun, or don't have fun. If you're all doing it out of obligation and none of you even want to do it, I'll be here in my own frame, setting my boundary internally and go from there. So that is what I have for you on setting boundaries. Boundaries are set internally. It's so important to do it for yourself and for other people. And as soon as you are the first domino in your family, in your friend group or whatever, start setting boundaries, you can inspire other people to do the same. And then you can have a group of friends that are choosing to be with each other and enjoying that time that they do spend together much, much more. Because it's not so much about the quantity of time that you spend with other people, it's about the quality of the time. And when people are showing up voluntarily because they really are choosing to be with each other, and they're all coming from a place of being filled up with their own cup, well, that makes for a much, much better relationship and thread of relationships than one where everyone's kind of doing things out of obligation and then ending up resenting each other and things like that, when people can set boundaries internally, show up voluntarily, and have much richer, more beautiful relationships. Easier said than done, I know. It's a practice. It's a practice. So if after watching this video, you find yourself, you say yes to the thing that you didn't want to say yes to, that's okay. Awareness to it. And know next time you can make a different choice. And that first time you do, let me tell you, it feels amazing. And it's not that you're not going to forget again and slip up and whatever. And nobody's perfect. And I have plenty of times where I forget to do this. And that's okay. There's always more to see. There's no done. There's no getting it. There's no getting there. Self-forgiveness, self-compassion, and the understanding that you always have the ability to make that different choice. So if you want to talk about what this could look like in your life, how you can create and set some boundaries for you to do what you know you want to do, you know you could be, have, and do so much more than you are right now, maybe as a possibility. If that sounds like you, then send me an email to trevorhanloncoaching@gmail.com. I have got 2 client slots available. I also have a full-time job. 2 of my client slots are already taken. Ergo, we got 2 slots available. Send me an email, happy to speak. And if you like this video, then like it. And if you want to leave a comment, tell me what you learned about this. Tell me about a time where you set a boundary and led the way for your friend or family group and it had a ripple effect. Whatever it is, I'd love to hear it. I'll reply to all the comments. Also tell me what else you would like to see me talk about in future videos, and I'll do it. So, with that, team, we are complete. I love you all, and I will see you next time. Bye.